De flesta britter de besöker trädgårdar och parker för sitt eget höga nöjes skull. Eller som Alan Rowe sa, de vill ha a nice day out. Men det är inte alltid bara trädgården som lockar. Andra söker sig ut för att få historia, kultur och naturliv. En del vill ha förstås inspiration till sina egna trädgårdar. Men om det finns ett fik, en restaurang eller en växtshop, då är det populärt. Och kan man köpa souvenirer och om det händer saker i trädgården, då är det extra intressant att besöka.
And in terms of branding, what I'm really saying is understand what are your core values. What is special about your garden, your park, your heritage site? And build upon that. Because we live in a brand society, like it or not, we do. And a brand represents ideas, promises, expectations. A brand also creates an emotional response, a belief, and that leads to behavior. And it's people responding emotionally, which is very important. And a brand acts as a summary. It sort of encapsulates those core values of a product or an entity or a site in an emotional way, but it also acts as a quick filter. Oh, I'll choose A rather than B because I, if you like, relate to that brand. You may not totally understand why, but it's, if you like, a gut response. But be careful, because a brand is in the eye of the consumer. The number of people who say, I have a brand, and they don't. They may have a logo, but they have no brand values, or if they do, they don't mean anything. They're so general as to apply to anything, and they're not special, and they're not unique, and they don't differentiate from the competition. And also, the brand values must be relevant, otherwise there's no point in talking about them. They must be credible. There's no point in coming up with some great marketing strapline which nobody will ever believe. And they need to be consistent through everything you do. Those brand images I showed earlier were the Imani Cafe in Milan. And from the toilets through to the little logo on top of your cappuccino, everything oozed the same brand values. And I asked you how much you would probably delight in showing your friends and visitors your rhododendrons. Would you also take the same delight in showing them your toilets? So they need to be consistent across everything. But gardens have positive values, and as well as developing gardens for tourism, many areas are now developing gardens as a way of branding their town or their region, and even the country, because there's this natural relationship which is positive. And I quote the Cote D'Azur. There's a project I was working on last year with 12 gardens where the historic image of the Cote D'Azur as warm, relaxing, nature, the environment, has actually disappeared. It's no longer a place of beauty. It's wall-to-wall concrete. It's villas, 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 and during the season, it's traffic, traffic, traffic. And what they wanted to do was present gardens as a way of saying, no, the old Cote d'Azur is still here. So, in terms of branding, you need to understand your core values, understand what is special, and then build on it. And the beauty of gardens is that most gardens are special because they're of the place, the microclimate, the environment, the owner, the personality. Gardens are better when they actually have a personality and an owner. For example, Hidcote or Great Dixter is actually, I don't say this, much better than the RHS garden at Wisley because that was organised by a committee, whereas the others are actually have the personality of their owners. But you need to deliver quality and excellence. Almost all brands rely on quality and excellence. Why? Because without quality and excellence, you're a commodity. And commodities only compete on price and convenience, and you will lose. They'll go to whatever happens to be convenient or cheapest. But also visitors now expect quality. They demand it. and they become less and less tolerant. And even they won't put up with the fact that you're a charity or a good thing. They want quality and excellence. And there's a lot of competition. If we take France, for example, 10 years ago, there were 750 gardens open to the public. There are now over 1,200. Now, this is an indication of the growing garden tourism market, but it is also an indication of the increased competition. And if the garden down the road is better, they will go down the road. And the excellence applies to the gardens. Yes, you're passionate about your gardens. You will make sure that the gardens are of an excellent standard. But it has to apply to all the other elements, the marketing, the access, the welcome. Often there isn't a welcome. The information and interpretation and the commercial and visitor infrastructure. Are all those just as good? So as well as the gardens, the signage. Can I actually get there? And you may say, that sign looks great, apart from the fact that the I is missed off Ibanez. Actually, Jardin Blasco Ibanez is the same garden as Fontana Rosa. They just haven't worked out what to call it yet. So, and there is actually a crossroads where the same garden is mentioned 3 times. Jardin Exotique, Jardin Botanique, and Jardin Valramé. The parking. Here, Hanbury Garden in northern Italy. There isn't a car park. You're on a blind bend. Can you get something to eat or drink? At Wisley, I put in a simple coffee shop at the front of the garden. Now 24% of visitors, 150,000 visitors, take a cup of coffee or a cup of tea there when they arrive or when they go. This is in addition to the other catering. So the overall take on catering moved from 74% to 99%. I'm still trying to find that one. I'll kill him when I find him. But also, so that's 500,000 turnover. And it's mostly coffee, which is just water, which is 90% margin. So with 2 staff, you make £300,000 profit from putting something at the front which people want. Information. Do you actually let them know what's in the garden? What's looking good each month? How they can find their way around the garden? Okay, there are modern ways in terms of technology using mobile phones and so on, but a simple map. Can you find the toilets? This is a botanical gardens in Vienna. That's the sign telling you where the toilets are. Fortunately, there is a toilet behind there. It's not a bush. Interpretation. That's Hidcote, a wonderful little exhibition which just gives you a little bit of history and background. And then the retail. So, are you delivering quality and excellence across the board? Here we have the quality of the garden mapped against the quality of the equipment. And you can see that there are only 2 which actually have good quality infrastructure, despite having a lot of gardens of excellent quality. So there are 6 quality gardens where the infrastructure lets them down.